Everyone, it's time for Dear Amy. So this one's a long one and it's called Lending Large Sums to Friends. Dear Amy, I'm wondering how to balance friendship and faith with a business transaction that has gone bad. I loaned several $100,000 to a longtime friend because his business was struggling and he was going through a divorce. We agreed on a standard documentation and precise payment terms. He's only paid part of the loan back, and the non-payment is creating a financial crisis for me. We're both Christians, and I want to follow biblical mandates that require people to lend when asked. I also want to be a good friend. However, although my friend says that he feels bad about the situation, he doesn't seem to prioritize repayment or making wise financial decisions. For example, he and his business partner have incurred new expenses recently, and I view this as unnecessary. Would you consider the friendship over and treat this as a purely financial transaction? Or would you continue to cut him some slack? I see no reason to harm my own financial situation due to a friend's bad choices, but I don't want to be unfair or cruel to someone. Signed, a remorseful lender.
Ooh.
Wow.
So here we are. A man lends his friend several $100,000.
Wow.
His friend now pays just a small portion of the loan back and isn't paying the big balance back to him. The dilemma is the lender wants to follow his Christian belief of forgiveness, but needs the money to live. So what should we do?
I've heard of that before, and it's sad because, people just stop talking to you.
Yeah.
You know, how does this go? If you lend money, you make enemies?
Yes, if you lend money, that's an old saying. If you lend money, you make enemies. But sometimes a loan is really necessary. But the person who gets the loan should pay it back.
Yeah.
I had a friend that I lent money to, and she never paid me.
That's the hardest thing. I had a friend I lent money to, and she said she was going to pay me. She even had set out a payment plan, and then she fell on one hard month, and I said, she came to me like an adult and said, it's a hard month. I can't do it. I take care of you next month. And I think I was too forgiving, or understanding, so every single month. But then she stopped saying anything.
Yeah.
And then she started doing stuff and buying things. And that got nasty.
Yeah. Did you stop talking to her?
For a while, yeah.
Did she pay you back?
She did eventually pay me back. I had to call her out on her wrong ways, which made things kind of awkward.
So my friend never paid me back, and it's when we get together, there's always that,
That tension.
that tension that, you didn't pay me.
I think the amount is also, like, if somebody borrows $20 from me and never pays it back, we're not going to be on bad terms. If someone borrows $200 and never pays it back, I'm going to kind of give you a side eye, but we're not going to be on bad. But this man,
Several $100,000.
That's a lot of money.
like, that is not just something that he stumbled on.
Right.
Like,
And this man also has an agreement with him. I'm lending you this money and this is how you're going to pay it back to me. So he has sort of like a contract. Well, he has a contract, right? It's on a piece of paper, so he has a contract. So what does the man do? Does he keep nagging his friend to pay him
small
back?
claims court.
Or does he enforce the contract?
Alexa, stop. Alexa, stop. Just like normal, guys.
Just like normal.
It's like normal.
Just like normal. So the dilemma is he has a strong faith that says he should lend and help, but now he has a contract that he wants his money paid back because it's affecting his own personal life. I say
He has to.
he has
in
to.
here. I was like, I thought there was. I'm sorry.
I say he has to get a lawyer and
I say he
enforce
has
his
to
contract.
get a lawyer and enforce, yes.
Enforce his contract. Yeah. So let's hear what Amy says. Dear remorseful lender, you frame your question by asking, what would I do? but nothing in my faith practice or my bank account would enable this sort of extreme lending. If I want to and can afford to give, I give versus lend. Not to put a fine point on it, but bailing out your friend has resulted in a financial hardship for you and has also enabled him to persist in believing the fiction that he runs a successful business. As you point out, he is not running a successful business, so expect the delay in repayment to you should have been something you thought of ahead of time before you offered to help him. Now you have fewer assets to put towards doing good works, taking care of family members, helping those in dire need, contributing to your favorite charity, and of course, contributing to yourself and your own church. Imagine how many hungry mouths your thousands could have fed, how many school books it could have bought, how many church missions it could have funded. Instead, your kindness and generosity have resulted in lost assets, enabling your friend's mistakes and likely a lost friendship. This is not your fault. It is his, your friend's. Your own choice, however, is your responsibility. Perhaps you should have chosen to follow the Shakespearean instead of the biblical mandate, never a borrower nor a lender be, for loan off losses, both itself and a friend. So in other words, when you loan money and it's a large sum, you kind of figure they may not pay you back because you're not a bank or a mortgage company. So you're not only going to lose your friend, but you're also going to lose your money or your asset.
Terrible.
Amy goes on to say, your lawyer or the courts might be able to tease out more payments and or a stake in your friend's company. You should explore the work with a lawyer and see what financial advice he can give you. Also, I suggest that you explore and work with the wisdom of Dave Ramsey, whose financial advice is both practical and Christian focused. You would benefit from reading his book, The Legacy Journal, A Radical View of Biblical Wealth and Generosity. So I think the moral is, don't lend big amounts of money.
And don't ask for big amounts of money.
And don't ask. Don't give away what you can not afford to give away.
They're so sweet when they ask for the money, but then when they
Yeah.
have to pay
Then
you,
when they can't pay it back.
Well, thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you,
and we'll
MaryAnn.
see you soon. Bye.